Hello, fellow trailblazers. Welcome to another episode of Escapes and Money Adventures with TK. So, this is a special video that I'm doing for y'all because I wanted to share everything debt management related. So, firstly, this does not constitute as financial advice. If you are looking for financial advice, speak to a qualified, registered financial planner, financial advisor, or a financial coach. I am one of them, and you better be ready to pay for the consultation. All right. So in today's video, I wanted to share my few tips and my experiences when it comes to debt management. So again, if you've read my article or my blog post titled My 7 Biggest Financial Mistakes, I have been guilty of credit card debt. Clothing account debt to the value of 15,000 Maluti or 15,000 Rand. Financial blunder. Thirdly, I've had personal loans. To the value of about 400,000. Clothing accounts I spoke about, and I currently have a mortgage bond as well. So in this video, I wanted to share some of my experiences and some of the things that we don't talk about when it comes to debt management. Firstly, I will start with credit card debt. So the beautiful thing about a credit card, it gives you access to funding or lines or gives you access to things such as you are able to book your credit, you're able to book your flights, you're able to buy things on credit. But what a lot of people tend to do when it comes to credit cards is they want to use a credit card as an emergency fund. Your credit card is not your emergency fund. So personally, I've had a credit card for a couple of years, and initially it started with a value of 10,000 Malut or 10,000 Rand. And because I was so uncomfortable with that when I started, is I started paying it off, and I'm currently at about 1.5, which is a manageable limit. So why do I want to caution you about I'm talking about credit cards. Why I want to caution you about credit cards is the mistake a lot of us make is we take on too much debt when it comes to credit cards. And then secondly, we also max out our credit cards and we don't pay them on time. So the interest rates on credit cards is really quite high. So be on the lookout for that. And I know a lot of credit card companies or providers give you 55 days interest free, where you can literally have the number of days to pay off your credit card. And the more you pay it, the better. And the mistake a lot of us make is we want to pay the minimum amount when it comes to our credit card, which can also be quite disastrous, if you want to get out of debt. The second line of credit I want to speak about is an overdraft facility, guys. An overdraft facility. So it's very popular to call your banker and apply for credit or an overdraft limit in the country. And I've seen some financial services providers giving out overdraft facilities to the value of 4 times your net or 4 times your gross monthly income. That is a lot of debt. Guys, I've seen people who earn salaries at the end of the month. It comes in and they're still in the red. So credit card overdraft facilities are cool when you take it out, but you do not want to find yourself in a situation where you cannot afford your month-to-month living expenses. Now, there are 2 types of overdraft facilities. Well, from my banking experience, is what we call a fluctuating overdraft facility. So this is a 12-month overdraft facility that literally fluctuates from month to month. And then, of course, if you want to start reducing your overdraft, you can start doing that on a month-to-month basis, obviously looking at what is affordable and realistic for you. So I started with reducing my overdraft facility when I had one with 500 Rand every single month or 500 Maluti every single month, and eventually I paid it off. The third thing I want to speak about is clothing accounts. Guys, I managed to get to 15,000 Rand. I will not talk about how I got to that level, but the interest rate on clothing accounts is insane. I need to have a drink about that. Insane. So many a time we rationalize or we convince ourselves that I need clothing accounts because I need to provide for the kids and what have you not, and that can quickly get out of control. So clothing accounts, at some point, I realized that it was about 22% per annum. The interest rate on clothing accounts was about 22%, which is ridiculous. So make sure you check out, before you swipe those clothes, make sure you check out how much interest you are paying on those clothing accounts. The fourth one I want to speak about, the fifth one actually, is car loans. Guys, car loans are amazing. Amazing in the sense that it affords you it gives you the ability to buy the car that you want. The mistake that many of us make is you want to buy the most expensive car. Just because I qualify for a car to the value of 500,000, do I really need to buy a car to that much? When I bought my Peugeot 207, which I'm driving 8 years later, I could not afford it. So I know the cost that comes with a car is the installment. It is car insurance. It is car service if it's when it goes out of the motor plan. And of course, it is what's the other one? The installment, the insurance, and insurance can be quite pricey. It is the maintenance of the car wash. Car wash is a cost we need to provide for that we don't usually talk about. And then the last one that I want to talk about is the home loan. So I've done a video where I was like, should I rent or should I buy? And in the last video with Sibian, we spoke about should I buy or should I rent? And the question always comes to say, there is no right or wrong answer when it comes to should I buy or should I rent. It depends on what is comfortable for you. So my experience with a home loan, and I used to rent before, my experience with the home loan is, yes, I can afford the monthly installment, which is cool. But what we don't speak about are the additional costs that come with owning a home. For example, the insurance premium on the life cover. For you to have a mortgage with the bank will require that you have an insurance or a life policy, a life cover. That cost we don't talk about. The second one is if you have a bond, the bank will ask you to literally have an insurance on the property. That is a cost. The third one is in the event of anything breaking in the house, you are responsible. The geyser bursts, you are responsible. The door breaks, you are responsible. So whatever it is that comes with gardening, building the wall, and I've done a video on this before, which I'll link in this particular video. So when it comes to, when people say that, TK, you have a home and we are excited for you, I'm like, if only you knew the cost that comes with that. And the one thing that I also want to speak about, particularly because we're talking about debt, is the interest rate. So in a post on social media, people were asking me what it means when they say that the repo rate or the CBL rate has increased or the prime lending rate has increased by 50 basis points or the likes. So when you take out debt, you pay interest on that debt. And many a time we revolve those loans while we revolve, you keep on taking on more debt. So the beautiful thing is when COVID hit, the central bank reduced the interest rates to stimulate the economy. But now things are starting to look a little bit more positive, So what that means is that they're going to start increasing the interest rates because inflation, which is the enemy of money, is starting to increase. So to reduce or to control the inflation, they increase the interest rate. Now, if you have a loan, any kind of loan, credit card, overdraft, personal loan, clothing account, car loan, home loan, it means that when interest rates increase, you are literally going to pay more. So the question I ask you is, how much debt do you have? And what's the implication when interest rates are going up? Can you still afford to pay the monthly repayments? If you cannot afford it, speak to your financial advisor, your financial planner, or if you are so deep in debt, speak to a debt counselor. It's not the end of the journey. And of course, on Adventures and Money Adventures with TK, we give you the content such that you make informed financial decisions. So the question I ask you is, how much debt are you in? How much are you paying on a monthly basis? Can you afford it? And if you can't afford it, do not wait until it's too late to ask for help. And with that said, I am wishing you all the best when it comes to money, financial decisions, living life to the fullest, and of course, balance. 2022 is about balance. Live for today, but plan for tomorrow. With that said, 3 simple ways: like, comment, subscribe, and then enjoy your money. Love, peace, and money!